I wonder if I stay like this for long enough, whether it'll set the thumbnail to me drinking from a nice, sexy, and I know it cup. I'm drinking a coffee, which has incentivized me to make this morning's video about caffeine. So I want to cover why caffeine makes you feel great, and then why it can make you feel like shit. So the way that your brain works is it has these things called receptors, right? And they're like these things, and chemicals float around in your brain, and there's receptors for all different kinds of things, and chemicals float around in the brain. And when these chemicals grab onto the receptor senses it, and it gives you that feeling that you get is as a result of that. So you've got receptors for feeling happy, you've got receptors for feeling sad, motivated. They're not called motivation receptors, but there's specific chemicals that are associated with them, or groups of chemicals that bind to these receptors. So what caffeine does, it does two things actually. So one of which is there's a chemical in your brain called adenosine, and it's one of the chemicals that's responsible for making you feel tired. So when you feel tired, you might be in the evening, the lights are dim. What's going on in your brain? Well, what's happening is you've got your adenosine receptors, and adenosine is going around and it's binding on those receptors. So you feel tired, right? So, and it's the same in the morning, you feel tired because this is happening. When you drink caffeine also binds to those receptors without stimulating them. So what it's doing is it's blocking the adenosine that's in your brain from being able to reach them. It's like a condom. So caffeine's like a condom on these receptors, stopping anything getting to it. So that's one of the reasons that you feel, it makes you feel awake in the morning. Another thing that caffeine does is that it... So you've got receptors in your brain for dopamine as well, which is kind of responsible for making you feel good, making you feel focused. So let's say you've got dopamine in your brain and it binds against a receptor. Dopamine makes you feel good. What it then does is it goes away and gets reabsorbed in like a trapdoor. What caffeine also does is it slows the rate of how quickly that trapdoor opens to get rid of that dopamine from your brain, which means that dopamine stays around in your brain for longer and it makes you happier. Funnily enough, it's a similar mechanism to cocaine. So cocaine fully closes that door, keeps loads of dopamine in there, helps the release of it. But caffeine's like a mild one. It just keeps the door a little bit jarred, right? So you've got these mechanisms going on in your brain that stimulate you and that stop you from feeling tired. So that all sounds well and good. Surely this is like a really good thing to be doing. Well, the problem is that your body likes to try to hit a point of equilibrium all the time. It likes to try to be in balance. So if you, after a long period of time of drinking coffee, and your adenosine not hitting your adenosine receptors to make you feel tired, your brain goes, I can tell that my adenosine receptors aren't working. They're not working. So it creates more, right? So if you had caffeine like every single day, chronic amounts of caffeine for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever, your brain would start creating loads of these additional receptors. So smaller and smaller amounts of adenosine could make you feel super, super tired. Your body has made you superhuman at sensing adenosine. It's made you superhuman at feeling tired. And I'm sure... So, but this mechanism happens with all sorts of things as well. So, like, if you were to have prescription painkillers all the time, as an example, the same thing happens. Your pain receptors upregulate. That's what it's called, upregulation. And you end up being super sensitive to feeling pain as well. So there is a solution to this. Different parts of your body get back to equilibrium quicker. So with caffeine, it's generally accepted that let's say you had a lot of caffeine for 2 weeks, if you had a 2 to 3 day complete fast from caffeine, nothing at all, then you would get over that. Basically, your receptors would downregulate, and you would be able to then have caffeine again and have all the benefits. So that's what a lot of people do. So what I often do is I might have a few days where I taper down and just have a few cups of tea in a day, and then 2 days where I completely fast it, and then I'm back to being able to get full benefit from the caffeine. And to be honest, there's no point drinking caffeine if you're not doing this every now and again. You've got to taper it. The next thing is you might get headaches, right? You might get headaches because caffeine restricts your blood flow, and adenosine. No, sorry, adenosine. The act of the adenosine binding on the receptors has an impact on your blood vessels in your brain. So when you stop taking caffeine, you've got tons and tons of these receptors. When the adenosine then binds to it, because caffeine's no longer blocking it, it causes all your blood vessels in your brain to constrict, which can give you a headache. So if you get a caffeine headache, that's probably why it's happening. So yeah, there you go. So, but yeah, I'm going to finish my coffee this morning. It's mine and Amy's anniversary weekend, so we'll be celebrating that. And have a happy Friday, everybody. Last day of the week before your awesome weekends. So have a great time.